Did you ever notice how anxiety might be what's pushing you into your addiction? Well, if this is your trigger, you actually found a great video because I'm going to explain everything about how you can deal with it, how to identify it, and real life examples of what you can do. But before talking about all of that, who am I? My name is Wesley, and my mission is to help prevent 1,000 men from killing themselves because of their addiction to adult content. Literally getting to suicidal thoughts because of this corn addiction. These are my type of videos, and if that interests you, make sure you subscribe. Also, aren't you tired of feeling tired? I'll explain myself. You wake up in the morning and you're already fatigued, even though you just slept for maybe 8 hours. You're still fatigued, you're still tired. And the reason to that is because your brain is exhausted. The reason he's exhausted is because he's been fucking a girl for the past 7 years. When you fap to corn on your phone, you make your brain visualize the fact that you're fucking a woman that you don't really know, right? But it's the action. You're kind of visualizing yourself actually doing things with her. So for your brain, you actually did the thing, even though for your body, you didn't do it. So what happened? Okay, you might have fucked the girl Monday, but would you visualize yourself actually fucking every day for the past 7 years? Like really fucking a woman? That wouldn't happen, right? For the past 7 years. Non-stop, without breaks, every day, at least once, you would do it with your partner. This wouldn't happen. But you take this exercise and make it do it to your brain. So your brain is exhausted, and because of that, even though you're trying to sleep, your sleep isn't enough to recover. Even when you're going to the gym, you're going to the gym only 5 days a week, right? And it's for a reason. And you're not always doing the same muscles. You're doing separate muscles to let time for other muscles to recuperate, to recover. But what happened with your brain? When you're fapping, and it makes him use the same muscles over and over again every day without rest. And it's been 7 years that it's like that. Maybe even more, right? I don't even know your own situation right now. But you can kind of figure out that that's the real reason why you're always tired. And you may actually want to have energy. To have the confidence to actually approach women. To have the energy to actually do things in life. Want to start your business. Want to start something else. Want to do things for others. Want to have the energy to go, when you go outside, people look at you and see like how energetic you are, how interactive you are. When you're talking with others, you feel joy. If you want all of these things, corn addiction needs to disappear from your life. And this is what I want for you. So if you actually also want this for you, first link down in the description. All that I continue directly with the video and the anxiety. So as usual, I'll start everything by how to find it. And the way for you to find this special trigger, the anxiety trigger, is you look at yourself and you analyze yourself. What and when am I fapping? And when that times arrive, what happens right before that, right? Maybe, I'll take an example. You have this school exam that's coming. And you're thinking about this exam and it's coming Wednesday. And you can't wait until Wednesday. You have big anxious thoughts about it because you think you might fail the exam. And what happened? You can't think of anything else because you feel this anxiety of, oh, I might ruin my life if I don't succeed in this exam. So for you to really find your trigger, you have to ask yourself, what is my trigger? And visualize the maybe 5 last times you actually went into the bathroom and fapped, and realize, what did I do? And if this is related to anxiety, this is exactly the path that we will explore together today. So it's really an anxious situation that made you think, okay, I will do what I'm going to explain directly right now. So when you feel anxious, people tend to go towards bad habits, as it is way easier to apply bad habits than good habits. One way to deal with anxiety that I see in a lot of times was playing video games. Playing video games makes you pass time and forget about what you're currently facing, which might be this exam that's coming. So instead of thinking about the exam that's coming, you're thinking about the video games because that's what you're playing right now. But in this video, I cover exactly corn, so I'm going to focus on that. People, instead of thinking about their exam, they think about, oh, if I go and fap, then the big crash that I have after, I will be calm and don't think about my life. I'm just thinking about recovering, and I'm feeling so fatigued that I don't want to think about my life. So what happened? They exactly do that, and they go and fap. Once they come, they have this big down, this big crash, and while they fapping, they feel pleasure most of the time. I really at the start, right? Because at the end of your addiction, when you're deep down, you don't feel pleasure anymore. But that's another topic. If you wait until the big crash, what happened? At a point, you will recover, and once you recover, you're still feeling anxious. At a point, you will remember, hey, I still have this exam, and I'm not prepared for it. I didn't study, I didn't do anything, and your anxious thoughts will come back. But that's what people usually tend to do. It's to go and do bad habits, such as this corn that I'm talking about. The reason it is not working is exactly for what I just said. Once you recover, your anxious thoughts will come back. They didn't resolve themselves, right? You didn't think about it and had this crash, this big down. And once you recover, your exam isn't going to be better, right? You didn't do anything for exam. The only thing that you could have done is study or better prepare yourself. But what you have done right now is just delay the problem. And that's what happens when you're doing a bad habit. It doesn't resolve the problem, it only delays it. What happened is that you were feeling anxious. You kind of like close your brain, close your eyes, so you don't see the problem. And what happens after? You open your eyes back again, and now you see back the problem once you recover from your big crash, your big down. So it's really like that. It's you kind of closing your brain, just not thinking about anything. But at that point, you will need to reopen your brain, right? And once you reopen your brain, what happens? Your anxiety comes back. So it's not the right solution because it doesn't resolve the initial problem. It's only postponing it. It's only making it later. So that's what we call a bad solution. But people don't realize it's a bad solution because what happened? When you're doing this, you're feeling as it's pleasure. So you're having this kind of twist. You're having the twist of, I know it's bad, but I'm feeling pleasure of it, and it helped me with my problem. So it helped me with my problem, and I feel pleasure when I'm doing it, so it's good. That's the solution. And the same applies when you're eating, for example. That's why you're eating, sometimes you're eating shit, right? You're eating fucked up food and things you're not supposed to do. Because what happens? You're having a problem, which is you're hungry. You want to eat, and you're having food, but it's not good food. But you know that when you eat not good food, such as, for example, an ice cream, well, you're hungry, you like ice cream, so you eat it, and you would get two positive things in one. So what happened? You resolve your problem, and you're feeling pleasure as you're resolving the problem. But this tricks your brain into thinking, oh, it's actually good for me because I'm doing both at the same time. But it's not good. What happened is that you either develop an addiction, or oftentimes it doesn't resolve the initial problem. Eating an ice cream won't resolve your hungriness. You will still feel hungry after it, and may need to take another thing in order for you to actually be kind of filled, kind of not empty anymore. So this is what happens. And as you may know, if you study a little bit of food, because that's one of the topics that I also like, food. If you study this, you realize that when you eat things that have sugar, a lot of sugar, right? Processed foods and things like that, like dessert, they don't fill you at all. They're just there for you to taste, and oh, they taste good. I feel happy when I'm actually eating this. But what happened? They don't fill you up. You're still hungry after that. So what happened? You still need to eat more. And by eating more, you buy more, so they make more money. So it's kind of doing all of these things at the same time, but you still get what I mean. The solution isn't there. When you're hungry, the solution isn't to eat ice cream. It's to eat a full meal or wait until the next meal. That's the good solutions. But what are the good solutions for your addiction to that, to adult content? And what are the solutions to deal with your trigger to anxiety? There is kind of 3 steps. It's not really 3 steps, but it's kind of 3 ways to deal with anxiety. First of all, having a routine. A routine eliminate all the anxiety you could have throughout the day because you already know what's coming. So you don't have the decision fatigue, and you don't, at a point in your day, ask yourself like, oh, what am I going to do? No, it never happens because you already know what's coming. You have everything planned throughout your day. And if you plan everything throughout your day, you can plan also your study sessions. That will arrange the fact that maybe you have this exam that's coming. But if you already have study sessions planned, what happens? You're studying. So you won't feel anxious before your exam because you know that full well that you're full ready for it. You studied enough, you had these planned up, so you're ready for this exam. You also have to realize something that I will say to you right now. You were the master of your life. What happened is that you have full responsibility of all of your actions. Everything that happens in your life is because you chose to. And this is a hard truth to realize. And some people may even disagree with me right now. And that's kind of okay, right? You have your own opinion. But once you realize that this is really the truth, that you were the master of your own life, everything, your life right now is as it is because you chose to. It's because you chose to maybe not stick to this habit, chose to do this work, chose to do this, and it's all the results of all of your decisions. So you have 100% responsibility on your life. And once you realize this, you realize that you don't need to be anxious because most of the time you're anxious about things that you can't change. For example, if someone in your family dies, you didn't kill them, right? Because I just realized it's possible, right? Someone that kills another person. But unless you killed them, which I don't think so, but I'll just assume you didn't kill them, right? You are not responsible for their death. That's just something that will happen. And yes, it may impact your life. But now I'm talking to you. The way it will impact your life is also your decision. If you're choosing to stop working on yourself, stop working on your business, stop working everything because someone died in your family and you chose to do this for 1 week, it's your choice. And after, you can't blame the results that are maybe you will be 1 week later and it will take 1 more week in the future for you to create your business. Or maybe you'll kind of be late to other things, right? The consequences that happens in your life comes from your decisions. And you can't blame. So by knowing that you are the only one that can impact your life, meaning, you have 100% responsibility over your life. Everything that happens in your life starts taking place. What happened? Start to realize things that as the fact that you're in addiction right now is your fault. It's not the fault of the current companies, right? They're only doing their work. They only want profits. The fact that right now you were at this job isn't the fault of your boss, right? Your boss he chose to kind of search for an employee, but you chose to apply to this job. So the job you have right now is the result of your choices. What happened? The life you have right now is the result of all of your choices. And you can change your life if you want to. You just need to change your decisions. You can make more money if you choose to. You just need to make decisions accordingly. You can make less money if you want to. You just need to do decisions accordingly. People start to spend more, and after they realize, oh, I have less money. Yes, it's because you're spending more. But if you would have known before that, if I do impulsive spending, I will have less money, then you may not do it, right? Because you want to keep more money. But people don't think about life this way. They don't think that life is because of them. They tend to think that life is because of others, and others dictates their life, right? And when you think that way, you kind of are not in control of anything, because every other people dictate your life. That's your way of thinking. So when others dictate your life, you're kind of there and trusting everyone, because everyone has a power on you, and this makes you unable to actually make your own things. And in this time, you need help in order for you to recover, to do things. So what would be better to actually quit this trigger, and by eliminating the trigger, you will eliminate your relapses, would be to create yourself a routine and discover the fact that you were the only master of your life. And by discovering these two things, this will remove all anxiousness. You don't need to feel anxious, because what? Because you were the master of your life and you know what's coming. If you know that you have an exam in 2 days, study for the exam, because you know that studying will have the consequences of you knowing more stuff, so that in the exam you may actually pass it. If you don't pass the exam, it's not because the questions were too hard, because the teacher fucked up the exam, right? It's because you weren't prepared enough. Take responsibility for what you were doing and actually go throughout your life with this kind of mindset. You will start to see things differently, and this will be great. It's a great way of seeing things. As the example that I just said, if you would have known that you didn't study enough, all you need to do is study a little bit more. Now what happened? Maybe you have passed. The questions in the exam won't change, even if you cry about it, even if you do anything about it, even if you have like 30% and you like failed the exam. The only way you could have got a higher grade was to study more. You didn't study. You tried to do the exam without comprehending everything. So that's your fault. That's not the fault of the teacher. That's not the fault of the time that you had to do the exam. That's not the fault of other people inside of your class that were maybe talking, right? It's your fault. You chose to go to this school. You chose this class. You had time on your own that you could study, but you chose to do other things. You chose to do on your phone. You chose to go on video games. You chose to go on corn. So that's your situation. So my example will be someone that never knows what he needs to do in life, and what happens is always anxious about his life. Every time he wakes up, he's anxious about the rest of his day, because he doesn't know what's coming. He doesn't know what he needs to do. So what happened at midday, he needs to think, oh, what am I going to eat? When he wakes up in the morning, oh, what am I going to wear today? And all these decisions that he keep on having to do makes him anxious. Oh, what am I going to eat for supper? What am I going to do after that? Oh, what am I going to do after I play video games? And things like that. His thing that I will recommend is to create himself a routine. Having himself a routine, something that he needs to do, and at each hour having great things to do, such as great habits, right? It could be journaling, could be meditating, could be reading. Having great habits and having time to work. It could be the time going to school, like 8 hours going to school, 2 hours studying, maybe 1 hour reading, having the shower planned at a time, having the eating planned at a time, and you know what you're eating. You actually plan beforehand what you're going to eat. So you say, okay, today, and you do this the moment right before going to bed. So what happened in the real life example? You go to bed, it's Monday. You go to bed at 10 and it's 9:30 right now. You're on your phone and you're planning the next day. You have 30 minutes to plan your next day. What happened? You wake up in the morning and it's usually like 6. So you wake up at 6 because you have to go to school, right? So you write in your journal, not in your journal, but in your agenda on your phone. 6 to 6:30, you go take a shower before going to school, right? Your school starts at 7. At 6:40, you go to school. You start going to school, you walk, and it's like 10 minutes away from home. Then you go to school for 7 to 5, for example. So 7 to 5, 7 to 4, 7 to 3. Okay, 7 to 3, you're at school. At the dinner time, you already know what's coming. So you write it on your phone. Okay, this is the first class that I have, then this is the second class, the second bit of class that I have, then this is the dinner, this is what I'm going to eat, this is how much it costs, and the clearer you are, the better. So everything, so you don't have to think about it, right? It's all is planned. If you just write dinner at at 11, that's great. Okay, I actually eat dinner at 11, but what are you going to eat? Oh, now you have to make another decision, and now you kind of, while you're in class, you're kind of anxious about your dinner. What am I going to eat? What if there is no more sandwich? What if there is no more cookies? And you kind of start to think about everything like that. You write your first meal, and if the first meal isn't there, you write your second meal, and that's everything. If when you finish, you go and take your meals, then you plan the rest. At 3 p.m., you already know, okay, 3 to 3:30 or 3:50, you have to go back to your home. Okay, at 4, I'm going to eat supper. Okay, at 5:30, now I'm going to study. At 7, I'm going to play video games for 1 hour because maybe you're still addicted to playing video games. But you kind of planify all of your day. You plan all of your day so that you know what's coming. And you don't have to think about what's coming all throughout the day. It's written on your phone, and you will maybe receive little ting about what's coming, right? That is why sometimes you hear sounds in my videos nowhere. I think 5 minutes ago it did things on my PC because I still have these as today a routine, and everything that I do is checked. So I have this to do at this time, and you kind of see that it works, right? I'm also implementing it. So I'm not just saying anything. I'm implementing the things that I'm saying most of the times, or it's things that I applied before, or it's things that I said to others that they applied and have had great results with them. So I'm not saying bullshit, right? I'm saying great things. So actually try this, and if you need more information on this or anything, leave a comment down below. Might I answer also your questions and everything. And that I'll actually ask you to take care of yourself. Mwah.